What's up, cousins? It's your girl, Meesh West Coast, and we are back with another episode of Spill It With Meesh. We are into season 3. We are healing. We are growing. We are letting go of those past expiration friendships. We are growing and glowing. We are following our intuition versus our confidence. And tonight, we're going to talk about not racing against that invisible time clock. I am so guilty of this at all times, but before we dive too deep, cousins, I want to just say thank you guys all for being here again. If you are new to this channel, I am again your cousin Meesh West Co, and we cousins now. So don't forget that we meet here every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Make sure you check my highlights on Instagram for you to be able to curate the drink of the episode with us tonight. So that's exactly where we are going to go into, guys. We are rolling into our drink of the episode. Tonight we have our Are We Racing Against the Time? Or Who's Beaten or Who's Against the Time, okay? So we have a timeless little cocktail made with some rum to just remind us that we should probably cool things down. We should probably lay back and cool. And we're going to add a little blue curacao to that too, to just add that blue relaxing flair. So let's go ahead and go into our drink of the episode, guys. So grab your glasses, have a seat, cousins, scoot in, and let's go. So I brought out our lovely shaker tonight. So we have our shaker with our ice in it already. We're going to go ahead and garnish our glass. I have a couple pineapple chunks. I just want to throw those in there just for the little relaxation of things. I feel like any type of tropical drink reminds me of relaxing vibes. I just think of cool water, being on the beach with a nice drink. So that is my concoction here. So we have some pineapple rum. I have about 2.5 ounces of pineapple rum. We're going to go ahead and add that into our shaker. We have about 1.5 ounces of blue curacao. Remember, this has alcohol in it as well. So just be careful with pairing it with other alcohols. Just remember that this has alcohol in it as well. So we're going to add that in there for that coolness, that blue flair, okay? And that is about 1.5 ounces. And then I have about 1.5 ounces of some peach syrup. I'm not going to throw this all in there because I don't want the drink to be overpowered with sweetness, but I just wanted to mellow back out with that blue curacao we added on top. So I am going to only add, we'll let the ancestors tell us when to stop. So I just drizzled in a little bit of that. If we need to add more, we can at the end. So we are going to grab our shaker, guys, the top to our shaker, and just make sure we have our shaker on correctly. Make sure that seal is inside of the shaker. And y'all know the vibes. The ancestors tell us when to stop. And just make sure that seal is on correctly because you will be spilling it with Meesh, okay? So, shake what you got in them jeans. Then grab the wall and shake it like a dog. Shake what you got in them jeans. Then grab the wall and shake it like a dog. So mine is like nice and frothy. I don't know if you can see that, but it's nice and frothy. I feel like the ancestor said it's okay to stop. Too cold in my hand now. So we're going to lightly pour. Our Who's Against Time cocktail. And I guess you can add ice. I didn't want it too cold on my lips, so I just shook mine. But if you want, you can go ahead and add ice. I feel like this is such a cute, by the pool, good vibes day drink. Oh, and she's good. Kind of reminds me of like the blue pixie stick. It's a little sweet. If you don't want it so sweet, don't add in the syrup at the end, okay? So, let's get into it, guys. We're going to talk to each other nice. So, Let me ask you guys something. Have you ever felt like you were racing against this clock that was not set by anyone but yourself? Sometimes we confuse age for that time. Like, okay, like I want to be married by 22. I want to have kids. I want to start my family by 25. I want to be able to buy a house. I want to be able to move to another country and move to another state by 30. We should be married, or you know what I mean? Like these weird time frames that who's setting them, right? Is it society? Is it social media? We now live in a time that social media sets the standard for how we operate, how we reflect on our relationships, how we reflect on ourselves, when these people aren't even living reality. I mean, sure, if you look at my social media, it probably looks all great until you listen to my podcast and understand that I still go to work. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. So people live these fixated lives and they harp on things they see or these time frames that they've mysteriously set for no reason. You can't gauge your success on the next person's success. So tying an age or a time frame into that will kind of hinder your thoughts and will kind of suppress how you're feeling about yourself mentally. And you guys, this is the year of intention. We are no longer suppressing and holding ourselves prisoner in our own minds, okay? We are getting all that out. We are now setting intentions and we are walking in intentions. Next steps are near, cousin. So do the work with me, stay with me, and these next levels will make a lot more sense once this work is actually done. So, if you want to change careers, but they've got you thinking 25 might be the graveyard, or you feel like you maybe can't go back to school to get to your new career. Who says? I mean, you probably can't go into it as you would have fresh out of high school, right? You might have kids now. You might have an actual job now. But ultimately, you want to be able to understand that that inclination didn't come from anywhere. Because at 35, even at 40, I say to myself all the time, I'm 30 years old. I don't have any kids. I'm not married. What am I doing with myself? Am I racing against time? No, it's just not my time. It's not my time. I feel like everything will happen when it's supposed to happen. Here I am, 30, about to be 31 years old, and now I have a podcast. Now I'm starting my business. So we can't base our success on the next person. So always stay mindful of yourself. Always stay true to yourself and graceful of yourself, because everybody is not going to walk the same walk. Everybody's journey is not going to look the same. So, and if you miss some of those, milestones, or you even start having like your family that start to kind of put pressure on you for these milestones, understand, give yourself grace, but also have those conversations with them that everybody's story is not going to look the same. I'm the only one in my family without kids. So now everyone's coming to me like, when you having kids? When I do. It's not that I don't want them. It's not that. It's not any of that. When I have them, I will have them. Period. So just make sure you understand your journey is divine. So it's okay to just kind of give yourself grace in those situations, but don't delay denial either. So just because you haven't met these boundaries, don't suppress them for yourself, right? Just because you're not 30 with kids yet, don't mean you're never going to have them. It just means it may not be your time. You need to understand that your time is not going to look like the next person. I will keep saying that. Your time is not going to look like the next person's. So take a second look at yourself, put your phone down, take a deep breath and close your eyes if you can, and let's talk to your younger self, right? So for me, I always tell myself, or I always give myself the okay, I'm doing okay in life when I reference the little girl I was. I always ask myself, would my 10-year-old self be proud of who I am today? And I feel like, yes, she would. I feel like she would look at me how my sisters look at me. Like, they are very proud of me. Like, my family's very proud of me. There's people that are influenced by me. I feel like my 10-year-old self would be influenced by me. I'm influenced by me. So just having those kind of conversations with yourself will have you really understanding like this imaginary time that you've put on your life is not reality. We don't, like I said in my episodes before, God does not pick up the phone and say, hey, tell all your family you love them. Tomorrow, I'm going to go ahead and get you up out of there. That's not how this goes. So you have to live every day like it may be your last. You cannot wonder what if. Always fulfill the what if by just trying. So you're not behind. You're just building. You're not late. You're being prepared. You didn't waste any time. You've gained wisdom. Now, think about these. Think about these for a second. What expectations have you been carrying that really don't even belong to you? Again, has your family put pressure on the fact that maybe you should have kids, or maybe you should have been married, or maybe you should have started your career, or maybe starting your career at this late in the game is not going to be for you? Can't let them project. You cannot let them put their projections and their fears onto you. Your journey is not going to look like everyone else's. I don't care if this is your mom. I don't care if this is your dad, your sister, your twin sister at that. Everyone's journey is going to look a little different. Give yourself grace in this space. Who made you believe that you're only valuable if you meet these milestones? Is that something you've set up for yourself, or is that someone else's projection telling you, hey, at this age you should have already accomplished this, or school should have been done for you, or it's too late for you to go into this as a career? That's not true. Always stand in your purpose. Always, that's that intuition as well. That's that confidence. Stand in your intuition. Trust your thoughts. Trust your thoughts. So you guys already know I went to Instagram and I asked you guys, do you guys feel like you're racing against time? I find myself racing against time. So I was one of those individuals that selected yes. 67% of you guys said yes, especially when it comes to marriage or careers. 20% of you guys said sometimes, just depending on who they're around. So you're letting that be influenced by what you see around you. And sometimes that's exactly what you need to help you get to that next level, to help you X out that time clock. Sometimes being around younger people as well will really help you see that we need to get away from that time clock, because this young generation, they are billionaires. Like their minds are so sharp. Their minds are so diligent and so disciplined. We really could learn a lot from our youth, you guys. Do not stray away from learning from our youth. They have a lot to teach us. 13 of you guys said no, they've decided to move at their own pace. That 13% is where I aspire to be at, because I do set those milestones for myself. I set them by age. By age, I feel like I should have accomplished this. But I don't harp on the fact that I don't. I understand that my journey is not going to look like everybody else's. So I give myself grace in this space, but I continue to put my best foot forward. And that's all you can ask for at the end of the day. You have to understand that, like I said, God does not pick the phone up and say, hey, tell everybody you love them. Do everything that you wanted to do, because tomorrow's the day. So just always understand that you don't want to leave life just with nothing. You don't want to leave life knowing you could have just tried. So your favorite, now it's time for our solo game segment. So too late or right on time. So I'm going to give scenarios and we're going to list, is it too late or is it right on time? And this is going to open up the floor for expansion in the mind, because this is going to really help us think, rather where we've got these thoughts from projection, from people projecting onto us, or rather these are our own natural fears. But again, this is when intuition and confidence are going to prevail and be that driving force to help you actually overcome what actually needs to be done. So scenario 1, learning how to swim at 36. Is that too late or is that right on time? I think it just depends. At this big grown age of 30, I can swim, but not in open water. So therefore, I feel like I can't swim. So I don't feel like it's too late. I feel like this is a goal that I want to overcome. So eventually at some point, I am going to take a swimming class because I can't be scared. I want to go snorkeling someday. So number 2, writing your first book at 52. Is it too late or is that right on time? Again, just where you are with the mind. At 52, you might feel like now you've got all the tools to now be able to put this into words. Now you have all the tools to be able to properly compose how to tell your story. I don't think that's too late. I think it might be right on time. I don't know, cousins. Drop down in the comments. What do you think? Is that too late or is that right on time? Number 3, having a baby at 42. And cousins, this might be my life. I might be having a kid at 42. I don't have any kids yet. But again, this is projection. This is people asking me when I'm going to have a kid. I don't know. When God says I'm going to have a kid, that's when I'll have one. So is it too late or is it right on time? It might be right on time. I feel like it could be right on time because, again, that could be my life. Number 4, forgiving your parents at 40. I think that might be right on time. I think that kind of goes without saying, forgiving them at 40. Because how much trauma did you have to go to before you actually realized it wasn't for them to apologize and for you to forget, or for them to forgive you. It was for you to forgive them. Yes, guys, sometimes we have to step back and understand our parents are just who they're going to be. Sometimes they raised us with all the tools they were given. That doesn't make them bad parents, but it makes it time for us to forgive them for the fact that they did their jobs. They did what they were supposed to do. They raised us. Was it perfect? Not always. Could they have grown? Yes. Is it in the past? Yes. We have to learn to forgive. So I feel like that would be right on time, depending on where you are with your healing journey. And number 5, finally going no contact at 29. Sometimes it takes that. Sometimes 29 is that hurdle between like, okay, I'm about to be real grown. What do I want? I feel like I went through that. Like when I went over that hurdle of 29 to 30, I was like, okay, the mind has to be sharp. I can't just be around here all willy-nilly. I can't be a little ditzy. I can't be a little goofy. I have to be very intentional in my next few years. So number 6, starting therapy at 35. Sometimes that's when that wake-up call comes. Sometimes it's those defining ages that get you over those hurdles. But the fact that there are ages in here is, again, where we are boxing ourselves with time. Time and age, I feel like they're going hand in hand. Getting your degree at 45. Is that too late or is that right on time? That could be right on time for you. Especially if maybe you were a young parent, or maybe if you hit the ground running with just nothing but survival. Sometimes you go into survival and then you're able to scale back and actually go chase your dreams. I think that's right on time. So cousin, ask yourself those questions. Don't really put an age into it. Just ask yourself those questions and remove the age. Set up yourself for what you want. Set up yourself for who you want to be and the true intentions that actually come behind prevailing and getting to those greater successes. You want to make sure that those thoughts that are coming to mind, you're going to do the work on. You're going to actually try, because that's where you toggle that time at. You can remove time by just making sure you're putting forth effort. Putting your best foot forth effort. Don't make it to where you're disappointed in yourself. Don't make it to where you could be asking yourself, what if I just would have tried? I no longer live my life like that. Everything I want to try, I try. Everything I have a thought about, I take it to research. I take it to another person. I throw that idea around just more than once, because that it didn't come from nowhere. We have to stand on the fact that it didn't come from nowhere. That's that intuition, cousin. Stay with me. Stay with me. So I have like, well, I want to start doing like an advice column, right? So I want you guys to be able to come to me for advice, but I also want to be able to get advice from you guys. So I have a message that I did receive. I asked one of my friends to kind of throw some things my way so that we could answer them in the matter of giving advice. So the message I received says, I think a lot about us and how I can relate. How do I deal with the anxiety that I won't get everything done on time? So this is something that kind of like hit me in my stomach. Like it felt like someone punched me in my gut because I struggle with time management so much. And sometimes I find myself sitting idle and then I go into blaming, oh, is it brain fog? Is it lupus? But then that's me projecting, right? That's me not being accountable for the fact that I am just bad with time. So my advice to just myself or even just this scenario is prepare better. And what does preparing look like? Rather that takes the whole week before, rather that takes just days before to just give yourself some grace in the moment when you are going. Sometimes just being wrapped up in your head will really kind of hinder moving forward as well too. So stay mindful, prepare yourself, and just make sure you are checking your boxes. Even if that literally looks like making a list and being able to check things off to make sure you're actually getting them done. So, and just let me remind you that we have time for what we want to have time for, right? So again, we will have time for what we actually want to have time for. So I want you guys to kind of practice. So write down 3 things you're proud of from this month. This month alone, write down 3 things you are actually proud of. And write 1 thing that you're realizing that whether it's pressure or the comparison of the deadline, you actually, that's not your true thoughts about it, right? That's projection. That's a timeline you set for yourself that was probably unrealistic because someone projected it onto you. Be mindful of that, and I want you to write that down. So just remember, you're moving, you're progressing, and even when it feels slow, it's still movement. Slow and steady will win the race. So just to wrap up and kind of refill, cousin, you are not behind and you are not failing. You are not too old, you are not too late, you're not stuck, and you are not slow. You are evolving. You are in motion. You are planting and sowing seeds. And planting and sowing seeds need to be watered, need to have time to shine. Remember that. And baby, some flowers don't bloom till later. Some flowers we plant and it's already their dormant season. We might have to wait for them to harvest. Don't forget that. Sometimes your harvest is a little bit later, and that is okay, cousin. And when they do, they're gonna bloom big. You're gonna be successful. You're gonna understand that these situations helped you become exactly who you needed to be. They helped you become who you're gonna scale, who you're gonna be able to teach, and they're gonna ultimately help you with growing in every situation. Every part of your growth is not going to always mimic each other, but being able to reflect on the growth that you have done and the fact that sometimes it will have some certain similarities. You may be able to categorize and heal in the same ways. So tonight, toast to your own timeline, refill your timeless tonic, and text that cousin who needs to hear this. Share this with them. Share this with a friend that's battling themselves. Share this with somebody that could just benefit from just hearing this little message, right? Understanding that there is a brighter part of all of this. There's a brighter part of just removing that time box. Just get off that timeline nobody set but you. Give yourself grace. Actually try new things. Get a new schedule. Prepare for your week better. But until next week, cousins, I will see you guys later, and this was another episode of SpillitwithMeesh.